I don't take requests for quilts, but when it comes to my daughters, I will. And so when I asked mine how she wanted the border to be, she said purple and pink. So I thought this is the perfect opportunity to use both purple and pink fabric to make flange binding. I've been seeing this all over lately. It's not a new thing or anything, but I haven't ever tried it. So here's how you do it. So I cut my purple fabric by 1.5 inches and the pink by 1 3/4. The purple is considered the binding or the outside, and the pink is the flange. You can definitely experiment with widths. I liked how mine turned out, though it was kind of thick, so I could definitely see you trying something thinner. But anyway, all you do is cut your binding like you normally would and start piecing it together in one long strip. You do this for both the flange and the binding fabric. Use your preferred method. I like to connect mine on a diagonal seam and just attach all the strips, but do not fold them in half like you normally would. Once you have your 2 long strips of binding, place them right sides together, or I should say binding and flange. And what we're going to do is sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance along the entire length of both pieces. After that, we need to press the seam towards the binding fabric. This is the fabric that's going to be on the outside and on the back of the quilt. So go ahead and take your iron and press along the entire long strip until it's all the way pressed open, and then we are going to press it in half, wrong sides together along the entire strip. So this is what it'll look like on one side, and then on the other side it is all of the flange fabric or the pink. This is actually pretty easy. It is just a little more work than regular binding because you are putting 2 pieces of fabric together first, but it adds a really nice little touch. The widths I cut were kind of large, so I think next time I'm going to try an even smaller flange, but I wanted to try large this time since it was my first time. Once you have it all pressed in half, it's time to attach it to the quilt, just like you would with normal binding, but make sure you are attaching it to the back side, and the right side of the fabric, or the part with the binding and the little flange end, is placed down facing the back of the quilt like this. Once it's attached to the back, it's time to flip it over and attach it to the front. I really like to use glue to hold it in place for when I'm attaching my binding, but just do whatever method works for you. And I did use my sewing machine to attach it to the front. I tried to find a coordinating thread that goes with the flange fabric, and so I went with a pink Aurifil thread that I found. What we're going to do is sew right along the edge of where the flange and the binding fabric meet on the binding, and that is it. That's how you add a little extra touch to your quilt binding. I thought it was super fun and way easier than I thought.